Chapter 5. "This is incredible, Kara," Paul commented, looking across the cavern at the entrance to the castle. "How did you get the outside structure to move?"
"A lot of it is just an illusion, depending on what angle you're looking at it from. But other parts of the building are all timed to change based on a series of programs that are running the ride inside," Kara explained. "Traylon is finishing up the last piece of programming now."
"I can't wait to go through it," Tricia admitted with a grin.
"Tomorrow. Dulcie and the guys are finishing up the last inspections," Kara replied.
"Do you think it will be too scary for the little ones?" Carmen asked, turning a worried gaze back to the changing figures on the doors.
"I don't know,"
Kara admitted, turning to look at the kids playing in the cemetery.
"They haven't been afraid of anything else here. I think because they have spent so much time running through the attractions with the lights on, they know it isn't real. Still, I don't think I'd take the babies yet."
"I love the idea of the ride," Carmen admitted.
"Where did you get it from?"
Kara's expression changed, becoming slightly secretive.
"Oh, let's just say I have two very curious little girls who like to put things in the replicator," she chuckled.
"What do you think they's talking about?" Spring whispered, peering over the top of the headstone at Alice, Amber, and her sister, Phoenix.
"I don't know, but they keeps looking at the castle that my mommy has been working on," Amber replied,
sliding down to sit on the fake grass.
"I saw Mommy running out of it earlier,"
Jade said, coming up to sit next to her sister.
"We can find out for you,"
Rome offered, as he and Balint came up to the small group.
"What do you think, Zohar?"
Phoenix asked Zohar. Zohar looked thoughtfully at the castle before turning to look at his mom, where she was gesturing toward the new ride. He had been inside the castle a bunch of times with his mom. He frowned. All the mommies and daddies seemed excited about something.
"Rome, yous and Balint goes and find out what's they talking about. Don't let them seize you," he ordered with a nod. "Jade, you and Amber goes and see what your daddy is doing." "Okays,"
the two girls said with a wicked grin, and shifted before taking off in the direction of the control room high above the cavern.
"What do you think's is the matter, Zohar?" Alice asked.
"I don't know, but we's going to find out," Zohar replied with determination.
"My mommy has drawings in her office. I will seize what they are."
"Looky," Jabir whispered, coming up to Zohar and staring at the group with wide eyes.
"Your daddy is called the Twin Dragons. It must be something bad. My daddy said these are the meanest, strongest fighters, even stronger than mine."
Zohar's face turned grim as he stared at the stern-looking faces of the two new adults who came down the steps with a smaller woman holding a baby in her arms. They did look scary. He watched as his father stepped forward and nodded to both men. One of the men glanced at the castle while the other one stepped closer to the woman and baby. He had seen his dad do that when he wanted to protect his mom and him.
"We needs to meet tonight in the big nursery,"
Zohar whispered to Jabir, Alice, Spring, and Phoenix. Jade and Amber carefully crawled along the narrow ledge under the window to the control room. They had flown high enough to keep out of sight of the adults before landing and shifting on the staircase. From there, they had quickly scaled the steps and climbed out onto the ledge so they could be close to the open window. "What is the Queen up to today?" a man's voice asked. "Is she still threatening to take over the world?" Jade nudged Amber and jerked her head toward the window. Amber nodded and scooted closer so Jade would have room to peek over the edge. They saw the warrior staring down at their father with a dark frown on his face. "She is a devious creature," Traylon replied with a frustrated growl. "I thought I had her finished, but she just won't cooperate." "Will you be able to finish her before tomorrow's first run-through?" the warrior asked. "Probably. I'm just worried about the Queen's minions. They keep showing up at unexpected places. Programming the weapon systems on a warship is much easier than some of the creations my mate comes up with," Traylon replied with a chuckle. "I think I've figured out a way to contain them, but I won't be sure until I run it through one last test."
"What do you think the Queen wants?"
Amber whispered to her sister as they peered over the ledge.
Mommy's coming! Hide!" she added in alarm when she saw their mom walking up the stairs.
The two dragonlings sank down on the ledge when their mother walked into the control room. Their eyes widened when they saw Simba pause outside the door and peek around the side. Jade raised one small claw to her lips. Simba nodded and glanced toward the control room before lying down near the entrance.
"We's better go," Jade said. "Mommy isn't going to like us on the ledge." "Okays," Amber replied.
Amber started to turn on the narrow ledge. Her eyes widened in fright when her back legs slipped over the side. She scrambled to grip the ledge, but it was too slick and she couldn't hold on. Her mouth opened in a silent cry for help. Jade still had her back to Amber, but must have sensed her sister's distress. She quickly wrapped her tail around Amber's left arm. The ledge was too narrow for her to get a good footing, and she felt her body starting to slide as well.
"Flaps your wings," Jade hissed when she felt Amber's weight pulling her backwards. "I's trying," Amber snapped, scraping her feet along the uneven wall to get a good footing. "Don't let me go yet." "I won't," Jade whispered, even though she felt her body sliding backwards. "Amber, I's gonna falls."
A whimper escaped Amber just before she felt her body suddenly floating. Glancing down, a grin curved her lips, and she shifted. A moment later, Jade tumbled into the small golden hovercraft that had formed under them.
"Thanks, Simba,"
Amber murmured, as the golden symbiote shimmered.
"Oh, this is a new shape,"
Jade commented, as she ran her hands over Simba's form.
"I's likes it."
The golden body shimmered in delight.
"You is the smartest, bestest symbiote in the whole world," Amber added. "So, what do you think Daddy meant when he said the Queen and hers onions?" Jade asked, while Simba silently flew through the cavern before gliding down and landing where the other dragonlings were playing in the cemetery. "I don't know, but he sounded like he wasn't doing so good. The other man says she's trying to take over the world," Amber worriedly reflected. "What if she and her men onions do?" "Mommy and Daddy won't let them," Jade replied confidently. "We'll tells the others, though, just so they knows."
"Okay," Amber whispered, biting her lip when she remembered the warriors' worry about the babies being scared.
"Zohar will knows what to do,"